Coach, dribbling it from you, 24. Just as a start, what do you make of this current period that South African football is in? I mean, the under-17s going to the World Cup and under-20 Sundowns in the final of the Champions League, Bafana on the brink of qualifying for the World Cup.
There are glory days for South African football, I think. Minus 17 is going to the World Cup, minus 20 is going to the World Cup. We are qualified for Shan, we are qualified for AFCON. Banyana have good results. So, yeah, from the bottom to the highest level, everything is good for the moment. But I think we are on the crossroad for the moment, because now we have to react as a football federation. If we are happy now, and just happy, I can assure you in 2-3 years you don't find anything anymore of what we have now. So you have to work very hard now and have a following up. Not like in the past when there was a qualification for AFCON, and then after AFCON minus 20 or minus 17 or what else, and then after AFCON players disappeared and you didn't see them anymore. You didn't find them anymore. So Helman told me last week he was with minus 20 in 19, I think, also on the World Cup or AFCON.
Yeah, assistant. Yeah.
Look how many players from that team you will find now again. They disappeared. So you need a follow-up now. You have minus 19 who will be minus 20 later. You have minus 20 who will be normally minus 23. You have then those who will be Bafana. But you have to follow them up now, and not be happy and after September, after the World Cup, you will not find them anymore after that. So the following up has to be done now. And then I think the future looks bright for South Africa.
Coach, the mission of Chandra, what was the report card you received from Lorenz Ramiteski Times? The mission of Chandra, what was the report card you received from Club Bruges that you made a decision not to include him in the senior squad?
No, I didn't not include him because of performances of what else. I did not include him because I want that he's going in September with a minus 20 to the World Cup. So it's no use now to call him. Again, even when we should have called him, Bruce couldn't do anything because it's a FIFA break. But I think it's better for him now to make that step, minus 20. And it's a World Cup, so it will be a high level against good opponents. So to make that step before maybe he can make the step to Bafana.
Coach, last year, I think before the end of this, Karabo Pasha freelance. Coach, before the end of the season last year, you said it wasn't the right time for Rele to leave. You said one more season Pirates. He said that one more season. Just what's your advice to him now?
The only advice I can give is that they have to make the right choice. That's the only advice. So, like for Mbokazi, just played 15 games with Orlando Pirates, going already to Europe, okay, no problem. But try to make the right choice. Because if you go to a club where you don't play, where you don't have a chance to play, I think then it's better to stay one more year with Orlando Pirates. So that is up to the player, to his family, and to his agent. And I hope that his agent is only looking to the future of the player and not to his wallet.
But Coach, are you, Velile from here at SABC, are you looking at this as exciting times in the sense that you spoke about the need of having players in Europe, in top clubs, and when you talk about the names now, Mbokazi, Rele, possibly Nkota as well, going to Europe. At the under 20 recently, some of the boys that were with there are already receiving offers from European clubs. Some of those in Europe already are also moving to top leagues. Forster is back in the EPL. So ahead of the World Cup next year, you could be having a good representation of players based in Europe.
Yeah. And again, let's hope if they go to Europe that they play there, because I'm sure even Rele, even Nkota, even all the rest who are people talking now that they go to Europe, they will progress if they play there. So they will become better players. I see what happens with Sandre in Bruges. Okay, he don't play with the first team, but he's playing in the second division in Belgium. So Bruges, the second team of Bruges, is playing in the second division. It's a tough division, I can assure you. And I'm sure that he makes a progression also. So that is the most important thing. So when I say choose the good team or choose the good club, it doesn't mean directly that he has to play in the first team. But he has to play, and he has to play on a good level. And I hope that all those players, if they go to Europe, because it's not the first year that I hear many rumors about players who are going to Europe, but nobody is going. So let's hope if they are going, that they are in the right club.
Coach Moremi Kulia from Teta FM. Coach, with Mamelodi Sundowns players going to the FIFA Club World Cup, are they guaranteed a space in your squad, having the new ones now going to replace them for these upcoming friendlies?
You know, first of all, we have to see now all those new players who are in the squad, that they have the level to play in Bafana Bafana. That is first thing. And maybe I'm sure already now that maybe for some players, it will be too soon, because they are not ready to achieve that level. The only thing why we did that is because we look in the future. And we have quite a number of players who are 30 and more in the team for the moment. So not next week, not next month, not maybe in September, but in the future, little by little, we have to replace some players. I'm sure of it. So that's why we took those players. But don't see it immediately as replacements for players who are playing now in Bafana Bafana. So don't think now that I will change in September 10 players or 5 players. It will not be like that. But it gives us a background of players. If of those players will achieve and will perform now in the next 2 games, that gives us a background to the future.
Themba Shabalala, Joseph from Sports. Coach, looking at the local teams, our teams in the PSL, Mamelodi Sundowns, Orlando Pirates, Steenbok have gone as far as they could in the CAF Champions League and Confed Cup respectively. Next season could be the same teams again, Pirates, Sundowns, Kaizer Chiefs, and all of that. How much of this makes your job even a little bit easier, knowing that our players can go out there and face the continent? You're seeing, like you said earlier, that even the younger ones have qualified for everything, including Banyana. How much of a save for you to know that all these players have got continental experience?
You know, one of the reasons why Bafana Bafana did so well in the last years is because of most of the players were coming from teams who were playing Champions League or Confederation Cup. So they have an experience that on a level that is a little bit higher than PSL. And that helped a lot. So when I came here, I had all players who didn't have much international experience. So we have that now. See, Pirates was that from a final. We could have a final of 2 South African teams, Mamelodi Sundowns and Pirates. Yeah, you know, if you have that means that the progression South African teams made in the last 2 years was very good. And I think, at the other way, that the performances with Bafana Bafana helped those clubs to achieve those performances and those results.
Coach, you can go first.
Coach, how important is it now, after the under-20 winning the AFCON, that perhaps under-23 team is progressed to play some games, or the squad selection for the upcoming CHAN is reflective of, you know, a core of these young players to get international experience?
Yeah, it's that's why I was telling a few minutes ago that we are on a crossroad now. So what happens now is what should happen every time. We have a follow-up. We make here a friendly game, okay, we can take youngest players. From the list of those we made now, the last list, the players we will have to drop, they can play Shan. Or they can play Kosovo. Shan will be difficult because, yeah, it's pre-season. I don't think that teams will be ready to release those players again. We have -20 World Cup, so they will have again more international experience. And then maybe we will see how things are going. Maybe we can, little by little, put 1 or 2 players with us from that team. So there is a follow-up. And I think in the last, I don't know, many years, we didn't see that here in South Africa. When I came here, there was nothing. Nothing. The coach of the -20, when there was a qualification, he has to look, oh yes, there's a qualification. I have to look for players. So that's why I said a few minutes ago, we have to keep that now and go on working like we are doing now. If again we will do it like we did it the years before, everything was good now will be no good anymore.
Coach, I mean, I might be, you know, going southways here, but one of the things that could have happened better was having the TD, technical director. How much of a void is it that he's no longer there, that we don't see the coaches, you know, getting progression in their courses and all of that? All that what he has brought was to unify you coaches and rebuilding the national teams rather. His loss, how much is it to you as a coach?
You know, I'm not afraid of that. So okay, the TD is not with us anymore, but there's a new TD now. So we had already a meeting together. We have plans, and I don't want to talk about it now here today. So we will. What I can say is that first thing we will do in the next months, I think in August, because after the 2 friendly games I go to my family back to Belgium. But when I come back in August, we will have a meeting with all the coaches. Coaches -17, coach -20, Helman, and we will discuss how we will work in the future and try to make a plan and try to make structure and try that for the next years we can go on working like this and having, because I think I said it when I came here 4 years ago, I can't understand that a country like South Africa didn't have those poor results. There was something not good. And I think in the years we could change some things. People had to adapt a little bit on my way of working, who was totally different. But I think now the results are there. And now again we have to go on. But I'm not afraid of the future. I think even that the future is quite bright for South Africa. But again, we have to go on working, and we're working very hard and having a structure now and a plan for the next years.
And Coach, I think it's a very, very young squad, and quite rightly so. When you immediately when these young players come into camp, what are the little details that you look at these players? Talent alone, they've got the talent. But what are some of the aspects that you look at in regards to these young players?
You know, I will observe them. out of the pitch, in the pitch, on the game, on training, because it's not only to see the level they achieve, of the talent they have, of the quality. I know already a lot about it, but I don't know the guy who is there. So, and that is for me very important in the next 10 days, that I will see how they will react on some situations, how they are with their teammates, how they are when they're eating together. This is very important, and I always try to create a certain mentality in the national team from the beginning of I'm here. And sometimes I didn't select some players anymore because I saw they had not the right mentality. So we have all this now installed, and we can't afford ourselves now to bring again players who have not the right mentality. So it's up to them. I'm just observing, and not only their performance in the friendly games, but also how they perform and how their attitude in the next 10 days.
Coach, I'm looking at your squad. We know the reasons why the Sundowns players were omitted, but again, Kaizer Chiefs fans are already up in arms on the socials asking about their players. Even after winning the Nedbank Cup, they say you have not picked any of their players.
Yeah. Okay, I know, but for me, for the moment, I think I can't select players of Kaizer Chiefs. And I hope that they make a better season next year. Okay, they won the cup. But I think that was the only highlight in the season of Chiefs. All the rest was not so good. So I don't think, the supporters are very happy now because they won the cup. But we have to be honest. And I don't have anything against Chiefs, but I have to be honest in my choices. And most of the time, it was not good with Chiefs. It was not good. Otherwise, a team like Chiefs is not number 9 in the ranking. They are number 3 or number 2 or number 1. So, but it's up to them. When next year they make good performances and they play like I expect from a top team like Chiefs, there will be players in the team. You don't have to be afraid.
Coach, how important is also patience for the players, because players like Moremi, players like Mbuthuma, they've been featuring more in your preliminary squad, and now finally they get a chance. And when you also look in their last few matches in the league, these players were also impactful for their clubs.
Yeah. You know, I can say for myself that I always choose the player on the right moment. And maybe it's sometimes difficult for people outside. But sometimes I see that player, even he made good performances with his team, with his club, he's not ready for us. So Rele came with us, but the first games he didn't play. Because I felt that he was not ready to play a Bafana Bafana game. So, and that is also with all those youngsters here. I see that they have talent. So now, again, this is a great opportunity. I can give them playtime. But if that should be now 2 qualifiers, some of those players, and maybe all of those younger players, would not be there with us. Because I think they are not ready to play that kind of games. Therefore, this is a good opportunity to have the experience now for them. And then we will see. On the right moment, I think I will take them. And it's very risky with a young player, because you can bring him too soon and you can break his career if you bring him too soon, because he's not ready. And everybody will say, look, this one. You see, even he has the talent. So you have to choose, and sometimes I'm wrong also. I'm a human being, I make wrong choices. But I think in that I'm rather good. And I think when you see in the past, I take always the player on the right moment and give him a chance on the right moment, because I think and I see that he is ready for it.
When you came here, Coach, there was a stigma attached to this job. There was a high turnover of coaches. 4 years later, you are the longest serving coach. What does this mean to you in terms of what you've managed to turn around this situation? And also, I can imagine it was not easy even on your side.
No, certainly the first year. And I know that this is also your job to criticize, but sometimes the critics were not fair. When you lose 5-0 against a world champion, it's not fair to criticize. You have to be smart enough to see that this is normal, that with an unexperienced team we had at that moment, you lose 5-0 against the world champion. But for many people it was not normal. But they went always to 2010 when they beat France. But they forgot that there was big trouble in the team of France, because there was a crazy trainer who selected his team with the stars. There was fighting in the France team. So okay, you won, but it was not the same thing. We lost in Morocco 2-1. We were criticized. Morocco was fourth 6 months later in the World Cup. So that was not fair. That was not fair. So, but what I did was always the same thing. And I think I told you already, after the first year in June, after we were defeated by Morocco, I went to Belgium and I said to my assistant at that moment, Chedo, I don't go back. I'm not sure I'm going back, because this is not honest, what they are doing to me. So, you know, after a few weeks you start thinking, and maybe. And I came back and I said to myself, if now those things goes on, with New Year I go back and it's finished. And then suddenly I selected Zwane. Yeah, but okay, there was also a reason.
Yeah.
There was also a reason. A guy at that moment of 34 or 33 years old, you can't build a future on that. But yeah, Zwane Temba is such a talented boy. He helped us a lot. So, and Zwane came and we selected a few other players, and suddenly, why, I don't know, boom, things were going on, and it went better and better and better till we are now a team who has not beaten for I don't know how much games already. So I think always when you started something, you have to do it your own way. But you need support, and therefore what the chairman of SAFA said to me after France, I remember he called me and I said, I had to speak to you, coach. And we went to eat something together. And he said to me, let them talk. I know what you are doing. You have my full confidence. They may write and they may tell what they want. I don't fire you. If I have to fire you, I go also. And that was for me something, wow. What this man said to me now, and he meant it, okay, I have a big support now. And that helps me also to go on what I was doing in that moment.
Right, guys, last two questions. Can you wrap it up or wrap it up now?
Yeah, I think maybe as we look ahead to, I know you're not a Sundowns coach. You've just spoken about Zwane now, and you know what is done for Bafana Bafana, especially on the road. Do you think he could be a key player for Sundowns in this final?
Temba.
Yes.
When I look only at his talent and his mentality, yes. But for the moment, I don't know how he's physically. I don't know. You see that every day on training. So I think that's the only reason why the coach is not putting him in the team, because he is maybe not ready enough to play that kind of games, like finals of Champions League, like World Cup for clubs in a few weeks. So maybe Temba is, you know, the injury he has. The moment I know he had that injury, first reaction for me was career finished. At that age, having that injury, most of the time is finished. But that shows also the mentality of Temba. So he came back, but I can't see now or judge now which level he has. So maybe it's a little bit too soon for him, but I'm happy that he can play, and we will see what happens later in the pre-season, how Sundowns is going to use him. But again, when I see his talent and when I see his mentality, I'm sure that he can still help us.
You still believe in him?
Yeah?
You still believe in him?
Yeah, sure. But again, you never know. He have to achieve again his level from before. And that is something what I can't judge now.
All right.
Thank you.
Gentlemen. Coach.